Higher history. Beyond the limits of recorded history. What if the origins of Christianity were not what we have been taught? What if, before dogma, before churches, before creeds and councils, there existed a radically different vision of Christ, one that was later silenced, buried, and labeled heretical? Tonight we explore Gnosticism and the forbidden origins of Christianity, not as myth, not as conspiracy, but as a suppressed spiritual tradition that once rivaled the faith we know today. In the first centuries after the death of Jesus, Christianity was not one religion, it was many. There were no official gospels, no unified doctrine, no Vatican, no canon, no fixed theology. Instead, dozens of communities spread across the Mediterranean world, in Egypt, Syria, Judea, Anatolia, each preserving different teachings attributed to Jesus. Among them were the Gnostics. The word gnosis means knowledge, but not intellectual knowledge. It means direct inner knowing, experiential, transformative, personal. For the Gnostics, salvation did not come through obedience, ritual, or belief. It came through awakening. They believed that divine truth was already within the human soul, trapped, forgotten, buried under layers of illusion. And Christ was not a sacrifice sent to appease an angry God. Christ was a revealer, a messenger of hidden knowledge, a guide sent to remind humanity of its divine origin. This alone made Gnosticism dangerous, because it challenged authority. In Gnostic texts, the God of the Old Testament is not the ultimate source of creation. Instead, he is the Demiurge, a lesser, ignorant being who falsely believes himself to be the only God, a ruler of the material world, a jailer, not a liberator. The true, infinite God exists beyond matter, beyond form, beyond time. And humanity, according to Gnostics, carries a spark of that higher divine realm within. This was a radical idea. If divine truth lives inside the individual, then priests are no longer gatekeepers, churches lose their monopoly, power shifts inward. That could not be allowed. In 1945, near the Egyptian town of Nag Hammadi, a discovery changed everything. Hidden in the desert for over 1,600 years, a collection of ancient texts was uncovered, buried in clay jars. These were Gnostic Gospels, texts that had been deliberately removed from history. Among them were writings attributed to Thomas, Philip, Mary Magdalene, and others, voices erased by orthodoxy. The Gospel of Thomas contains no crucifixion, no resurrection narrative, no miracles for spectacle. Instead, it is a collection of sayings. And one line stands out: "The kingdom of God is inside you, and it is outside you. When you know yourselves, then you will be known." This directly contradicts the later doctrine that salvation comes only through the church. In the Gospel of Mary, Mary Magdalene is not a sinner. She is a teacher, a bearer of secret wisdom, a disciple whose authority rivals Peter's, and this too was unacceptable. By the 4th century, Christianity was no longer a persecuted movement. It had become an imperial tool. When Constantine legalized Christianity, unity became more important than truth. Diversity of belief was now a threat to political stability. Councils were held. Texts were voted on, beliefs were standardized. Anything that emphasized inner authority, personal revelation, or divine equality was condemned. Gnostic texts were burned, their followers branded heretics, their ideas erased, or so it seemed. But suppression does not mean extinction. Gnostic themes survived underground, in mysticism, in esoteric Christianity, in medieval heretical movements, and later in alchemy, symbolism, and secret traditions. Even today, traces remain. The idea that awakening matters more than obedience, that truth is experienced, not inherited, that the divine is found within, not imposed from above. These ideas were never destroyed, they were hidden. Gnosticism asks an uncomfortable question: what if Christianity was never meant to be a religion of fear, guilt, and submission, but a path of inner liberation? What if the original message was not believe or be damned, but remember who you are? History is written by the winners, but sometimes the forbidden texts survive, waiting to be rediscovered by those willing to look beyond official narratives. And perhaps the most dangerous idea of all remains the same: you do not need permission to awaken. Follow, comment, subscribe for more incredible videos about mysteries and forgotten knowledge from past civilizations. Higher history, beyond the limits of recorded history.